Yo, my people, what up, though? We back. I can't even say another episode, but we back with a teaser of All Black Men Need Therapy. We currently in the middle of our hiatus or whatever, if you will. My name is Chief,
and I'm Bell,
and here we go. Player, we got a new production team. You see, we got the headphones on and whatnot. We got production team in the ear, tell us what's going on. We got scripts and all that. You know what I mean? We really, doing what we do. Bellhead, what's good? Bellhead, what up though? Check in, homie. How you been? How you feeling? How you living?
I got a little Pelly. For those that don't know, that's a Peloton. You know what I'm saying?
Pelly, we would forever nickname anything in the hood.
We gonna put our own spin on everything. I got a Pelly.
No, no pun intended. We gonna put our own spin on everything. You dig? You got a Pelly. You got your Pelly with the stimmy. You got the Pelly with your stimmy.
Yo, that's another thing. You talk about what's going on, mental check-in, man. Uncle Sam is in my pockets, boy. What? Man, listen here. I almost returned this damn Pelly once I got what I owe for taxes. I'm like, man, I ain't got time for it. But anyway, I got the Pelly. Y'all holler at me if y'all on the Peloton. C_Bells, BELLZ. I'm only on my 8th ride or sixth ride, so don't come for me yet. But I've been in there competing. I've been competing. So anyway, what's good with you though?
I'm gonna get me a Pelly. We gonna get in shape.
Yeah, I really want you to get a Pelly, B. I swear I really want you to get one. They're not cheap, and I don't know if it's worth it yet. So that's why I haven't suggested it. But I really want you to get one. I've been enjoying myself so far. I'll say that I've been enjoying myself. So.
Nah, word, man.
What's good with you?
Same with me, man. Yeah, but you keep that on the down low. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to put that out there. But the biggest thing for me is my shorties started baseball and softball, so you know what I mean? It's cool to watch them try something new, something different. You know what I mean? They both liking it, which is
of all your kids.
Right now, MJ, she's older, she's a little more coordinated. Stormy gonna be the one though. The baby gonna be the killer.
Though, you know.
Yeah, the baby gonna be the killer. The baby's gonna be the killer for sure. Yeah, he be tackling major, like he don't care nothing about it.
Reckless abandonment.
He don't care nothing about it. So that's gonna be the dopest. But no, outside of that, man, everything's been good, just working. You know what I mean? Nothing new to really brag about, nothing to complain about. I mean, folks may not know Grandma got shipped down to Atlanta, so that's a little different. You know what I'm saying? Not having her here, but other than that, everything's good, man. Everything's good. So you want to break it down to the people about what the little teaser is about this time, or?
Yeah. We just want to, I guess, stay sharp. So we every now and then we'll bring you a quick little 15-minute episode like we're doing today, and we're gonna talk about Cypress College and the professor who basically just got at the student about the police, and I thought it was interesting. Chief and I haven't even talked about our respective perspectives, but we're going to talk about it today. But I just felt it was interesting. So
yeah. So keep this though. We got the little team on the handle, so you know what I mean. Hey, producer, hit him with the clip.
I think cops are heroes, and they have to have a difficult job, but we have to have that
all
fine
of them?
life. Oh, I'd say a good majority of them. You have bad people in every business and every part.
Police officers have committed atrocious crimes and have gotten away with it and have never been convicted of any of it. And I say this as a person who has family members who are police officers.
Yes, I understand. And this is what I believe. This is my opinion. And this is, not popular to say, but I do support our police, and we have bad people, and the people that do bad things should be brought to justice. I agree with that. But I think that say it again.
They haven't.
Well, I agree with you on that point of they should, right?
Okay, so what is your bottom line point? You're saying police officers should be revered, viewed as heroes. They belonged on TV shows with children.
I think they are heroes in a sense because they come to your need and they come and help you, and they have a problem just like every other business, but we should fix that. But I think they're heroes. Well,
I think that's the problem. It's looking at it as a business because they're actually supposed to protect and serve the people.
They do protect us. Who do we call when we're in trouble and someone has a knife or a gun?
I wouldn't call the police.
Why wouldn't you call the police?
I don't trust them. My life's in more danger.
Who would you call?
In their presence.
Professor, who would you call?
I wouldn't call anybody.
She was big mad, huh?
Yes, but Shorty was clearly impacted by, she's clearly had some trauma wrapped around the police, whether it be personal or, with people around her. But nevertheless, she was passionate about her stance and he was passionate about his. And I think you can agree to disagree in a professional educational setting without it being, a national thing. You know what I mean? No? I mean,
yes and no. Do you think she missed an opportunity?
Yeah. I think she got caught up in her feelings, but I also think she deserves the same respect that the university would have asked her to give the student. You know what I'm saying? They both are allowed to be heard, no?
Yes, but I don't agree 100% because she's in a position of authority. I kid you not,
Okay.
The first time I saw this video, I was trying to figure out who the teacher, literally who the professor was and who the student was. Because she's not like this old professor, right? Like she's relatively young. She's probably early 30s, late 20s, maybe. I don't know. But she looks young and the student looked young. So I couldn't figure out who was who at first because I struggle with she was triggered. Like you said, she was definitely triggered. There was something that happened to her in her life. But I think as a professor or any position of authority, i.e. police, right? You can't abuse that power. And I feel like
Do you think
she was dismissive. Like I don't agree with everything the young boy said, right? But I do feel like she has an obligation to allow him to voice that and express that. And I don't think she did. I think she was very dismissive. And again, I don't agree with what he said. I don't think cops are heroes, right? But I also don't believe that all cops are bad. But I do understand that there's a perception.
So on that same token, you don't believe you don't believe all cops are bad. I don't believe all cops are heroes. Is that wrong? Is that those are two almost the exact same statement?
It's not though. But what I'm saying is, regardless of how she felt, quite frankly, her opinion doesn't matter in that setting because she's there to educate, right? So her giving her opinion removes the opportunity for her to educate. And all I mean by that is because now it's jaded, now it's skewed, right? She's in a position of authority.
I think it may have been better to offer her opinion in an attempt to get the young man to see it from her perspective. But as you stated, she was very dismissive. And that is, I think, where the
yes. And I think a better way for her to handle it, again, I don't know what her past trauma was or experience with the police were, but a better way for her to handle that was just to ask him questions as opposed to telling him, because that's what she was doing. So now she's coming across as her opinion trumps whatever he's thinking, and that's her experience. That's not his. And again, I don't agree with the young boy with everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, most of it I don't agree with, outside the fact that there's not all cops are bad, right?
But you can. So if I'm looking at it objectively and I don't know. Obviously, we don't know the young man. It doesn't appear as if he's I guess a racist or a devote Blue Lives Matter type of guy. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of showing his affiliation and respect for the police officer, but he does appear more blinded to what's happening to or to black and brown people.
In my opinion, that's a classic case of his experience versus hers. Right. Yeah. They were speaking from their own perspectives, right? Their own interactions, their own encounters. So which is why he was completely objective. Like, hey, I think they are heroes, right? Because maybe his experience, they were in a heroic moment for him or his
Right.
family. I don't know.
And that reminded me, because you're speaking from your own experience, where she's like, I wouldn't call the cops. I don't know if it got that far in this video, but it's a little bit longer. But it says she wouldn't call the cops. He was like, if you got a gun in your face, would you call the cops? Like, no, I wouldn't. And I'm just thinking of the scenario I saw where there was this couple who had rented, I think it was a food truck from a white couple, and they went to go meet with the dude. The wife went to go meet with the dude, and she was like, he's acting funny. So she called her husband. Her husband came to make sure everything was okay, and her husband was there for like a couple minutes, and he saw the dude like reach in his pocket to pull out a gun. Husband went over, like grabbed the dude's hand and stopped him from pulling out the gun, and was tussling with him for like 10 minutes to keep the gun in his pants. And his wife was like, I was so afraid to call the police because I feared that they would come here and shoot my husband. You know what I'm saying? And so he was tussling with him, and she said when the cops got there, she went to the door like, my husband's the black guy, the other guy has a gun, please. She had like begged them not to kill her husband when they came into the spot to try to resolve the situation, because she was so afraid that that would happen because of her, basically, based on her experiences with the police.
And that's her reality, and that's our realities, right? Like if we're in that situation, as our significant others watching, they're going to have the same feeling, right? And that professor, sounds like her reality was closer to that than of her student, right? But I think, again, the opportunity that was missed is to educate. And I don't think she was educating. Right. She was debating, right? Where somebody told me a long time ago, if I tell you something, it's not true. But if you tell yourself, then it is, right? And all that means is I can't come at you and tell you what you are, but I can ask you what you are. And then you can tell me what I already know. But when you say it, now it becomes true. Whereas when I say it, you can be combative, right? And you can argue it. That's all. I think there was an opportunity for her to go to the facts. There's an opportunity for her to get more inquisitive about his experience, and then maybe related to her experience potentially. And who knows, right? Like maybe this was like an hour-long conversation and the media just got what we got. Like I don't know.
Right.
But from what I saw, it was a missed opportunity on the professor's part. She clearly let her emotions get the best of her. And not for nothing, kudos to the student. I think he handled himself very
he definitely
and professional.
He definitely handled himself well. So now the question is, there was some obvious reprimand for the teacher behind this, but do you think he should have been viewed do you think, like, if you're a higher up in the university thing, do you respect both of their perspectives? Because again, she was triggered by that, and you can't necessarily fault her for that. Yeah, she may have missed an opportunity, but do you feel like there's a need for repercussion behind it? You know what I mean? Like the school put out this statement saying, they take great pride in fostering a learning environment, and you're right, where they're promoting, like, she missed an opportunity to teach, but nevertheless, you still have to respect her life and her take on that, because she's obviously been through some things. So I don't think personally the reprimand should be behind it. Maybe it's a conversation, or maybe next time ask questions, take the opportunity to teach. But as far as a reprimand happening, I don't see that. I wouldn't do it.
Needs to be done. I'm not saying she needs to lose her job. I'm not saying she needs to even lose a paycheck. I'm just saying something needs to be done, because again, I think it's psychological size, right?
Do you think her losing her job or being on administrative leave or being docked pay, that situation warranted one of those things? I think this could have been a simple conversation on. So a conversation on conduct, etiquette, and missed opportunities would have sufficed to allow her to continue doing what she does.
Yeah, I don't think she should be fired. I think, man, this cancel culture is fucked up. that's just the bottom line, right? Like, I think it's all or nothing, right? You either with it or you're not, right? Like, and this is one of those situations where I don't agree, but I do feel she was out of line, right? Now, if this was two students, perfectly healthy debate, I think that's perfect. But as a professor, you got an obligation, right? You're an employee.
Okay.
You have an obligation. So I don't think that she was fulfilling her obligation, and I don't think that I think she could have leveraged, this is what I'll say. I think she could have leveraged her position and authority in a different way. Right? I think
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Per our research and whatnot, we believe she was terminated or put on administrative leave, and I think that's pretty excessive in this situation. Like, yeah, there's an ethical thing behind this and her doing the part of her job, but as much as we respect that conversation being student to student, we have to kind of give her that same respect, if you will, to be able to express her experiences.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think there's a time and place, and whether this was a time or the place is, not. I wasn't there. I don't know. I don't think it
Right.
warrants any loss of pay or employment. I think this
Right.
is a conversation.
I think you made a good point in saying that we don't know. It could have been an hour-long conversation, but she, in that particular segment, she was very dismissive and kind of, even though she didn't agree with the young man, she kind of like let him have it a little bit, and he was respectful in how he took it and how he conveyed his point. But I think you're right. You said taking the time to open his perspective and open his mind a little bit might have kind of swayed his.
Yeah, I mean, allow him to be in a setting where he can learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're in fight mode, fight or flight, you're not gonna receive anything. You're protecting yourself, right? So I would imagine he was probably closed off at that point.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that it's too dangerous to have almost like a trial run with black and white people, almost like have two different cars, or maybe try? Remember how Lowe was with you and got to experience what it was like for a black man to get pulled over?
Yeah.
Like if we tried to create that experience with the white people, maybe just have a white guy drive down the road and doing 75 and whatever in a 50.
Like this might have 5, 6, 7 years ago. I forget what state it was in, but it was where it was legal to open carry. That a white dude walked down the road with an AR-15 like over his shoulder, and he was met with, "Hey man, like kind of what's going on?" and yada yada yada, and he explains, say, "Hey, this is legal? This is my right?" and they kind of let him go. They took his ID and got some information, but they let him go. And then I believe the dude wasn't black. I believe he was Hispanic that was doing it. And they pulled up guns drawn,
It's nothing like it's nothing like going through something yourself and then being like, oh shit, my perspective has changed completely. And I'll give you an example I saw the other day. It was a gentleman, white dude, acknowledged or openly acknowledges being a racist the majority of his life. His daughter marries a black guy. He falls in love with his grandson, who's half black and half white, who's probably like your complexion, falls in love with this little kid and witnesses this kid get experience racism. And like at that point, he's like, I realized I've been living wrong my whole life. Like there's no, like, you know what I'm saying? So he at a as a grandfather, he finally got a taste or got to put himself in that experience via his grandson. And it's like so apologetic and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So what can we do to kind of help people understand our plight at a much, much, much earlier age and, create that allyship, I guess, rather than this sucker shit.
I don't know that we'll ever be able to, but it's all work in progress, man. Right? It's a systemic thing that has to be changed from the top. But
well, we got to have something other than.
We didn't get to do a whole episode, so we want to talk about this segment. Right. So give your final
thought. I'm still mixed on it. I think the university should afford a courtesy to the professor and understand that she was triggered by what appears to be a traumatic response or several traumatic responses within her own personal life. Maybe even have a university-wide cultural sensitivity discussion, conversation, whatever that would help people understand, accept, appreciate, and respect other people's experiences with whatever, not just, police brutality or, that the case may be. But I think as much as the teacher could have taken that opportunity to teach, I think she deserves the respect of people understanding that she's experienced some trauma, and shit, maybe she can get on the podcast and get some therapy. You know what I'm saying? Because clearly it's something.
That's a great idea. No, yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree. I feel like more can be done outside of just letting somebody go. That's what I feel. I think if you're gonna, this is my final thought. If you're going to berate her for not taking the opportunity to educate, then I would also flip that back on the university, right? And say, hey, why don't you take this time to educate yourself on what maybe her potential challenges were, right? Right, wrong, or indifferent how she handled it. Maybe you take some time to get some insight on what got her to the point that it was worth her losing her job to express and voice her opinion on this obviously strong topic for her. So
right. Well, and to kind of piggyback on what you said, the teacher could use some teaching. So as a university administration of a university, teach your teacher. Put your teacher in some cultural sensitivity training. Yeah.
Teacher, but also allow yourself to be open to learn from your teacher.
Right.
I think it's a two-way street, so.
You smart. That's a good one. So I think that was cool, yo. I think I like, I don't really like it. I like, we be yapping sometimes, we get into some good stories, but I think for a teaser, for a quick hitter, we jumped in and jumped out, got some, I think it worked. So this is
you're gonna keep cutting me up. I'll be glad when we can get Prentice on. I know he obviously had the baby and all that, so my man got his hands full. But the next one, we promise he'll be on, y'all, for the next teaser.
Yeah, word. Yeah,
and
word.
Also,
for sure.
Season
you know
3.
What it is?
Season 3.
Oh yeah.
Let's not forget.
What we going to do? We said June 5th. We're gonna drop it on the 5th.
Yeah,
I'm not paying the 5. June 5th. We're gonna come back with season 3 of All Black Men Need Therapy. This was kind of gonna look like, you see the little tags down below. That's where we at. Y'all can hit us up. Hit us up at allblackmenneedtherapy@gmail.com. You got any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns? Per usual, y'all, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, and do us all a favor and hug a black man today and tomorrow. We out.
Peace.